Hello, welcome back. This is chapter 9 of Head, Hands, and Feet by Robert Street. And the title of this chapter is very simply Jesus, Head, Hands, and Feet. The head that had so impressed the teachers in the temple courts with its wisdom when 12 years old and had recently castigated the temple authorities for abusing the same courts for financial gain was now beaten repeatedly with the staff Jesus had been given for his mock coronation by the soldiers. The head that gave sinners back their dignity was now spat upon. The head that revealed truth from God now listened to lie after lie from all sides. The situation was bizarre, ridiculous, but it was real, happening and leading to its inevitable consequence of murder on a cross. The hands that had washed the disciples' feet were bound on Jesus' arrest. Their last free action had been to heal the ear of the high priest's servant. This was nothing new. They had healed and blessed countless people. Now they were fastened. The authorities wanted them out of action. Of what were they afraid? The feet that had traveled the length and breadth of the nation with a message of love and hope from God the Father were now marched from one building of authority to another. In each they stood before someone who presumed himself better than the prisoner Jesus. These feet didn't attempt to run away. They didn't kick out. They stood, awaiting the outcome. On the way to the crucifixion, the feet stumbled. The hands couldn't hold the cross, and the battered head, bowed with exhaustion and pain, wore a crown of thorns. When the crucifixion took place, the hands and feet were nailed to the cross. Their task was completed, except for enduring the excruciating pain that comes with crucifixion. But the head still had more to say, powerful, life-changing, never to be forgotten, eternal words of grace. When they came to the place called the Skull, there they crucified him along with the criminals, one on his right, the other on his left. Jesus said, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." The dying thief discovered that if all you can do at the end of a failed life is to ask God to remember you for his kingdom, he will. The crowd who mocked and jeered and goaded Jesus to come down or save himself witnessed no anger, no counter-argument. They simply heard words of forgiveness. They saw the head that was thirsty refuse a drink to dull its senses, and heard Jesus charge John to take care of his heartbroken mother. For those tempted to dismiss the crucifixion as fake or staged, they could hear, and we still can hear, the horrifying torment of Jesus expressing his utter forsakenness from God as he took the sins of the world on his shoulders. This was pain, grief, and sorrow beyond our comprehension. And before his dying cry announcing "It is finished," the greatest act of faith ever known took place. "Father, into your hands I commit my spirit." None of us comes close to understanding what our salvation cost Jesus, but Isaac Watts took Jesus' head, hands, and feet to help us as we try. See from his head, his hands, his feet, sorrow and love flow mingled down. Did e'er such love and sorrow meet, or thorns compose so rich a crown? Bible readings are from Matthew 27, verses 27 to 50, and Luke 23, 32 to 49. And here are the discussion questions. Consider the irony in binding and suppressing the hands of Jesus, and then give thought to the many people who are unable to use their talents or faculties in the service of Jesus because of their circumstances, illness, imprisonment, civil war, oppression, and other debilitating factors. Why do some people enjoy mocking, goading, and hurting other people when they are in a weakened position? How can we guard against doing this? On the night of his execution, Jesus stood before his accusers, stumbled to Calvary, and finally had his feet nailed to a cross of wood. Reflect on the contrast between what happened to Jesus' feet and those of his disciples, including the foot washing and the running away. Jesus promised the dying thief that he would be with him in paradise. The thief offered no goodness or good works. He simply turned to Jesus, throwing himself on God's grace. He wasn't disappointed. What lessons are there here for us regarding any thought that we might earn our way to heaven? The love of Christ was evident right up to his dying cry. It was total and all-embracing. How well do we witness to and preach it? Consider the greatest act of faith ever shown, in which Jesus felt utterly forsaken by God the Father, yet dared to commit his spirit into his care as he died. How can this help us when we feel at our weakest or most forgotten or rejected? Read again through the words of the verse. See from his head, his hands, his feet, examining each line and, if possible, discussing with others what the writer wanted us to realize. A verse to reflect on and use in prayer by Isaac Watts. Forbid it, Lord, that I should boast, save in the death of Christ my God. All the vain things that charm me most, I sacrifice them to his blood. May God bless you today.